All right. Hello to everyone and a very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much for having a listen. I'm Laura Hellfeld, and I help guide the food and eating section of Autistic Revolution. And I'm very excited because I have my friend Gregory with me tonight and his mom, Linda. And before Gregory introduces himself, I'm going to give just a few housekeeping bits before our chat. One is that Gregory uses spelling to communicate, which he'll very generously elaborate on. And with that, we thought we would prepare some of the questions ahead of time. So some questions he'll be answering with spelling during our interview, and some will be prepared ahead of time. Along with that is Linda is here as his communication and regulation partner and mom. And Linda will be helping give some answers as well throughout the interview, which also helps give some breaks naturally for Gregory as well. And the last thing really is that throughout the interview, you'll see us fidget, stim, move around. I've got my tea with me. I'll be making some noise. So we just encourage you all to do the same. Please listen to your bodies and what you need. And maybe now is a good time to pause actually and go get that snack, get that drink for yourself, and jump back into the interview. But I think that's all my housekeeping bits. And I guess on to the main event, Gregory. The reason why everyone's here to listen, to meet you and to hear your experiences. So when you're ready, Gregory, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good. Yeah.
He's going to type this on his computer and it'll read it out afterwards.
I am so happy to be here. I am so happy to be here. I am a
What? Why? Why?
non-speaking
Why love popcorn? I'm going.
autistic WHO
Ugh, I don't know why I did that. He spelled who?
Popcorn.
learned
Keep going.
to
No cap locks.
No.
communicate his
We're going to have to say the number out, but for some reason the app reads it out as a word. Go ahead, hit it, Gregory. No, yeah, just hit.
I am a non-speaking autistic WHO learned to communicate in.
It said, I am a non-speaking autistic who learned to communicate in 2017. And the one thing I do want to say is Gregory's non-speaking refers to someone who is not able to hold a conversation with their speech. He is really unreliably speaking, where he can say a lot of words and recite stuff, but verbally he can't hold a conversation.
I really appreciate you clarifying that, because I think even in our wider autistic community, a lot of these terms I was still not familiar with until finding Gregory a couple years ago, and your very good friend Danny Whitty as well. And I feel like I've learned so much.
Well, the one thing, people with autism that are non-speakers, they don't like to be called nonverbal because that makes it sound like they have no words, which is totally not true. They're non-speaking, but they have a ton of words. They just can't communicate them sometimes.
That's incredibly important to keep saying over and over and over again, isn't it?
Yep.
Thank you for the introduction, Gregory. I think on some of our our list of questions. I didn't know if you had one for going into a little bit more around your communication tool, describing that.
So he asked me to explain it because it's, you know, it would take quite a while to spell it out. We do spelling to communicate, where they start out. The premise of the whole thing is that people like my son have apraxia, which is a mind-body disconnect, where they can think the thought, but they can't execute the action to make their body do what they want it to, which includes speech. And has difficulty with fine motor. So this method uses the gross motor of your upper arm to learn how to point. When they first start, they're on a letterboard where, there we go. They're on a letterboard where the letters are much bigger, and they hold a pencil because some people can't even point their finger. Then once they learn how to control their body, they move on to a stencil board where the letters are smaller. Then they get to the point where they're on a laminated letterboard where they're using their finger to point. And now my son has graduated to a handheld keyboard that is connected to an app with text to speech. And now he is at the point in his journey where he's learning to type with the keyboard on a stand. And the reason why we didn't do that today, he still isn't totally proficient in it, and it's really slow. But he's doing great with it. And I think I don't know how long, he'll be totally independent with it. So we look forward to that day.
What I'm seeing, Gregory, is that you've had to put in an immense amount of work to learn these. Thank you for showing the different ones. I had never seen the different stencils before.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let's see. So we answered that as well. So connecting on then to, we're in the food and eating section, and some of our first conversations had to do with the idea of having the challenge of advocating for the food that you wanted when you were younger, Gregory, and how that affected even your school days. So I didn't know if you wanted to expand on that, about before you had your communication devices.
So that one he prepared ahead of time, and I'll read what he spelled. He said, I am apraxic, so my mouth never says what I really mean. No means yes, and yes means no. This is frustrating, to say the least. I didn't have a way to tell people what I liked or didn't like, and my body language didn't show my intention either. Having parents who love and know me well helped, but the true power I had over my own destiny began when I learned to communicate. I can tell people what kinds of foods I want to try and which ones I don't. I can't express to you how freeing this is. Food issues cause anxiety both in the autistic as well as the parent. Being able to communicate has helped me in every possible way and makes my life less stressful.
It's a really powerful piece there, Gregory. You touched on so many different parts for you personally and how it extends out to the family. And I really appreciate that word you used, and you even said frustration. The idea of saying the opposite, or your body language not expressing your need. There's that phrase around every behavior is communication. And I think what you're saying is how we really need to sit back and actually rethink that and really consider how else can we get communication from this person to make sure it is actually the communication they are wanting to reach us with.
The one thing I will say is, even as his parent, I can't believe it took me now 30 years to figure this out. Like, I thought I knew him better than anybody. And you know, sometimes like with food, he'll stay here, buddy. Can you stay here? He'll be eating something. Have a seat. He'll be eating something, and you think he hates it by his body language, and he'll say to me, it's not bad, or vice versa. Do you know what I'm saying? So the only way that I really have come to know what he truly means is when he spells it out for me and tells me, because his outsides do not match his insides at all. I want to see if he has. I don't want to talk for him all the time. Let me see if he has anything to say.
And the monsters.
I
Monsters.
think
And the monsters.
that
What monsters said.
apraxia
Do you want this?
is
Do you want it?
the
Do you want it? See like it
most
with my here.
frustrating thing
Fingers and
that I
and my purple
deal
and my
with
fingers
on
fingers
a
fingers and my purple lip
daily
and purple lip too and my fingers.
basis. I think that apraxia is the most frustrating thing that I deal with on a daily basis.
Very true. I see that every day.
And my
Really appreciate you sharing that, Gregory. That's quite a vulnerable statement to make. To share that quite personal.
Purple lip.
Imagine. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go
Oh
ahead.
no, I think I lost it. Okay.
No, I just, and my son isn't even as affected by his apraxia as some people are. So I can't even imagine how hard it would be
And the
with having it worse. It's really a rough thing to deal with.
So this again has been a lot of time, a lot of energy being put into communication and getting that communication, Gregory. And we're so grateful that you did, because again, I feel like I like how you have a way of just like coming in. We're like, this is getting serious. Let's have a silly moment.
He was just watching something on YouTube, and that was exactly what he was just watching prior
For you?
to on here. So,
Oh gosh, what do you like to watch on YouTube? Now I am totally going off script because
Yeah.
it's YouTube. Why not?
Love the
What? So,
shows I
well, because
used
religious was you right away,
to
but the monster
watch as
monsters
a
chase them through the woods.
child. Love the shows I used to watch as a child. They bring me comfort. They bring me comfort. Comfort and
You kiss me away.
remind.
He would
keep going.
Me
soon
of A. Nice. Time. When. Apraxia. Wasn't. As. Bad. They bring me comfort and remind me of a nice time when apraxia wasn't as bad.
Interesting.
Totally makes sense, Gregory. Just kind of bring that context all back and that totally makes sense. Thank you for sharing that part. I did have a question on there that had to do with why I found you was I ended up finding a few spellers around the same time, and it was this kind of a awakening for me of realizing I actually didn't know a lot about your community. And then the next issue of Autistic Revolution that this recording will be in, or interview will be in, is around community and belonging. And I know you speak on that quite a lot. So I didn't know if you wanted to share anything about what the speller community means to you.
They are.
Keep going. I know. We'll get to that.
Everything. To. Me. They are everything to me. They.
Keep going.
Are. The. Reason. That. I. Want. To. Get. Up. Every day. They are the reason that I want to get up every day.
We are people.
We're very involved with, we're in Pennsylvania in the United States, and where he does his letterboard training is a place called Inside Voice, and there's a group of about, I don't know, maybe 35 spellers there and their families, and we're all in different journeys with this spelling to communicate method, and we have this very active social life where we go, like Wednesday we're going out to eat, and we all are going to see Christmas lights, and we go on the weekend we're all going to a Christmas show together. And prior to all of this, it was rather sad. My son spent a lot of time in our basement on the computer by himself. He didn't have much in the way of friends. We didn't have much of a social life, and now it's just been this amazing thing that came into our lives and has made his life so happy and our life so happy. When we see how happy, it makes me want to cry actually when I talk about it, but how happy and purposeful his life is now. He's on advocacy groups. He writes a blog. I mean, it's just his life has changed in, I can't even begin to tell you how many ways.
Yeah. I can really see that in, I think, one of the first videos, Gregory, that I watched that you made on your YouTube channel, and we'll make sure to link that here in the magazine as well. But it was about your friends. And then this summer, the one you did for metamorphosis. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
tissues, everyone grab your tissues. It's really clear that you're all very close and support each other.
Yes, they're amazing, amazing people. All these kids that were underestimated all these years, and it's just happy times for them now.
Yeah, really that word belonging.
100%. Right? Everybody wants to belong.
And it really sounds like your world has just opened up, Gregory.
Here are special surprises. Come on, enjoy. Come enjoy the bun. Join the bun, boy.
Think.
Come enjoy the bun, and body living.
This.
Join the bun, and body living.
Time.
Life in New York.
My.
Why life in?
Go ahead, babe.
Yes. Why life?
Life.
I'm going live.
Is.
Live.
The.
Live in New York City Valley.
Best.
Yeah.
Time. Ever. I think this time in my life is the best time ever.
I agree.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I know whenever I see you come up my socials or spending time together, you bring so much joy, Gregory. So I'm glad you're getting that too.
We wouldn't trade him for anything, that's for sure.
Well, Gregory, I happen to have 2 of the books that you have out. So I didn't know if now was a good time to mention you were a author as well. This was my first one that I got for you. And then you just put out, oh, I'm doing it backwards, forgetting where the camera is. And then you just put out my Amazingly Abundant Autistic Senses, which I just adore. I didn't know if you had anything to say about your books or your goals with your books.
Go ahead, babe.
Listen more.
Ready?
Listen more.
Here.
Listen more. Listen more.
The.
Listen more.
Books. I.
That's mama. That's mama.
Love.
That's mama. That's mama. Proud.
Writing. Art. Children's. Books. Because.
Right. Oh, it's fun.
Keep going.
It's fun. It's fun to listen to them. Can you like
Kids.
listen to sounds? I am on one.
Art.
Oh. Good.
So.
Good night. Ow. 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 I love to read it. Love.
Accepting.
I love to read it. It's not read this. Not this.
And.
Read this. Happy. Them.
Willing.
That was me.
To.
It's was numbers out this cat. Ooh.
Learn. The books I love writing are children's books because kids are so accepting and willing to learn.
The one thing I will add about that, so these books talk about his struggles with apraxia, and I can't even begin to tell you how many messages we've gotten from people, how much the books have meant to their kids that have autism. And one person, he just got a message from Spain the other day. A woman read it at her son's class in school, and it started this whole conversation with the children, and they were so interested and asking questions. And then he's gotten messages from people just saying how when they read the book to their child with autism, how their child who has a hard time sitting still would sit for those couple of minutes and just intently listen, because I think they realize they feel the same way and they're being heard. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really been I don't know, I just love that part about it, and I know that makes him feel really good. And the education, we just had a friend of ours who's a physician who you would think would understand. She said she read the latest kids book and she goes, I learned so much from it, things that I didn't know. So it's been very cool.
We just haven't had the representation. And holding my hand up as a, being in healthcare and a nurse and around all, I just held my hand up going, oh my gosh, I have so much more to learn. So thank you so much, Gregory. And the descriptions in the the autistic boy and the unruly body was probably one of the first times I could somewhat grasp the idea of what it feels for you, Gregory. Not that I can, but it was kind of like a much closer, a feeling I can carry with me and then carry into understanding when I meet other people. So they're just fantastic. And I know I posted it, but I love the page and hearing more around the synesthesia. And I did go watch your YouTube video on it as well. And I loved it. The rainbow of music. And I thought, oh, how beautiful is that?
That's the good part about having autism. Let me see what he says.
Love. My.
I said a while.
Synesthesia. So. Much. Love my synesthesia so much. It.
Go.
Is. Such. A. Vibrant.
You know it.
And.
Oh.
Colorful. World. It is such a vibrant and colorful world.
Apparently, I guess a lot of people with autism have synesthesia. I would love to experience it.
I know.
When he tells me about it, I mean, it's amazing.
It's hard to kind of picture it, but you do such a great job, Gregory, writing it in there. It was just really, really fun. And I love that video. So we'll make sure we put in your YouTube, and all your books can be found on Amazon, and we'll make sure we list that out as well. I think we're kind of coming close to the end of our time together, Gregory. Is there anything else you want to share with everyone?
He wrote something for that. He said, I know, honey. He said, having people who believe in your abilities makes life worthwhile. I am forever going to advocate for those autistics who have no way to communicate. I want people to know autistics have feelings just like you do. We want to be included, respected, and loved, but most importantly, we want to be in charge of our lives, given choices, and treated like everyone else. Autism and I can't thank you enough for wanting to hear from me today. Do you want to say anything else?
I think you are a wonderful person, and I am so glad our worlds collided. I think you are a wonderful person, and I am so glad our worlds collided.
Right back at you, Gregory. Right back at you. I always really enjoy our time together. And what your mom read out loud that you wrote, I found like that gave me like the chills, really. It feels almost like some sort of manifesto or some sort of, you know what I mean? It feels like the beginning of some sort of like autistic constitution of rights, like is what it reads
Right.
as.
The sad thing is, because of people's autism, and you can't really, some people, you can't really see their true personality or their feelings. You know, they're underestimated and overlooked, and it's just a shame. You know, hopefully all this kind of stuff will make people see they're just like everybody else and want the same things that we do.
Absolutely. We just need to help with communication. It sounds like that is always the number one thing to be thinking of is, can we improve
Yep.
communication here? What other tools can we be adding in?
Yeah, I agree. That makes their lives so much better in every possible way.
Yeah. And then with that, we get Gregory, you sharing with us all that vibrancy that you experience. And it's just been so much fun getting to know you. And like I've been saying, it's been quite a privilege on my end because I've just learned so much that I'm able to take on in my family and with the other families I meet. So it's been fantastic. So thank you so much. I know that coming on and answering all my questions takes up a lot of time, a lot of spoons and energy, Gregory, but thank you so, so much for being here. And I guess that's the end of our time together. I always start to feel a bit sad saying goodbye. But thank you so much to everyone for having a listen. And thank you so much, Gregory. And thank you so much, Linda, and hopefully chat soon.
Yes, we will, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Bye, you guys.